What feels legal but is actually illegal and will possibly get you arrested. Trying to get your consigned Legos back from bricks and minifigs, apparently. Crossing state lines with marijuana that I legally bought at a legitimate business. Collecting rainwater in some places. Finders keepers has another name, theft of mislaid property. I browse recent criminal cases sometimes and see it fairly frequently. Paying someone else's parking meter, see, e.g., https://codelibrary.amlegal.com/eureka/latest/eureka-0-0-0-34305. https://codelibrary.amlegal.com/code/eureka/latest/eureka_ca/0-0-0-34305 b. Deposit of coins by unauthorized persons. No person, other than the owner or operator of a vehicle, shall deposit any coin in any parking meter without the knowledge or consent of such owner or operator of the vehicle using the parking space immediately adjacent to such parking meter. Turning on the interior light in my dad's car when he is driving at night. Doing nothing like loitering. Simply being openly gay in some countries. Not illegal exactly, but women have had their babies taken from them because they were given drugs at the hospital during labor and then said baby tested positive for those drugs. Sorry for crummy source, but the British Guardian also covered it. https://revealnews.org/article/hospitals gave women medications during childbirth then reported them for using illicit drugs/ https://revealnews.org/article/hospitals-gave-women-medications-during-childbirth-then-reported-illicit-drugs. Keeping prescription meds in a container that's not the original. Like you can't put 1 or 2 in a little pill keeper on your keychain because it's not in the original bottle. I get the reasoning, but it's also dumb. Sodomy in 12 states. Archaic and unenforceable but strangely still on the books. I recently found out that in most countries you do not have the right to end your own life. Leaving a party after having too many drinks and deciding to sleep it off in your car for the night instead of taking the risk of driving home drunk and killing someone, since sleeping it off in your car can get you busted for drunk driving in a lot of places. Some folks roll the dice and try to make it home so they don't get arrested for drunk driving while sleeping in their car. Being in possession of an eagle feather is illegal unless you are exempt like Native Americans. Even then they have to apply to receive it. It can't just be taken from the ground out in the wild. Downloading copyrighted movies, shows, or software for free. A lot of people treat it like it's normal, but it's still illegal in many places. Adultery is rarely prosecuted, but is a crime in a handful of states. Feeding an expired parking meter for a car that is not yours. Picking fruits or vegetables that are right near the sidewalk. It's not urban foraging, it's theft. While it is unlikely that you will be arrested if you are picking wood sorrel from the sidewalk cracks, if it's not your land, it's not yours. And that abandoned apple tree in the side yard of an unoccupied house still belongs to someone. Some U.S. jurisdictions, giving food to a homeless person. Insider trading, unless you're the government. Having all my window curtains wide TF open while naked in my own home, takes one passerby to call me in and I get it for indecent exposure. Never actually happened to me but has happened to others. https://www.nbcnews.com/id/WBNF344833145, December 2009, article date. He never got fined or jailed. However, a different man in 2018 did get charged for indecent exposure for the same thing. https://www.yahoo.com/lifestyle/man-charged-indecent-exposure-undressed-home-175721617.html, August 2018, article date. Spreading a deceased ashes on public lands can be illegal in some states. Setting booby traps with the intent of hurting people who are breaking the law. The number of Redditors who think it's fine because they brought it on themselves by breaking the law is too damn high. At least in the USA, they are often violating state law. But even if not, they are almost guaranteed to make the trap setter liable for injury/harm caused, and, yes, that can include putting capsaicin in copious amounts in your lunch with the expectation that someone will steal it. Causing someone pain is harm, and you can be held liable unless you're happy to eat the amount of spice you put in the food to prove it's not a booby trap. You are just Jamaican. Smoking weed in like 10 states. Assuming that you have the ability to make any and all decisions regarding your medical care if you are a woman in motherfucking 2026. Giving people standing in voting lines water. Trying to help a family get their Legos back that a store took on a consignment contract apparently. Seed saving and planting of patented seeds. Farmers are forced to buy from company every year. Going 9 miles per hour over the speed limit with the customary speed of traffic. Legitimately complaining to the police about their conduct. Prostitution. It's illegal to sell sex to one person but perfectly legal to give it away for free to 100. Trading goods and services without giving a third-party conglomerate part of the trade. Being Palestinian in Palestine. Drinking in public. You can get pretty used to it in certain places/scenarios when it's a big deal in other places. Having a knife bigger than 3 inches in your pocket. But I guess blade size depends on where you're at. Having a miscarriage at home as a U.S. citizen in a red state. Possessing a bald eagle feather that you found on the ground. You could land jail time even if you didn't know what kind of feather it was. Simply being trans in most countries. The U.S. is really trying to get there. Owning a firearm from a state that does not require registration in a state that does require registration. Having an unpaid speeding ticket from long ago, around 2005, when old records were being digitized, there was a rash of people getting notices in the mail, at best, or license suspensions, at worst, because of something that happened 20 years before. Probably the difference was if you still lived at the old address and were able to receive a notice mailed to it. If you didn't, you'd first find out about it when you got pulled over for something else. Hopefully these have mostly cleared out by now, but if you haven't been pulled over in 20 years and drove regularly before then there might be a surprise waiting for you next time you are. Designer drugs/research chemicals/legal highs. Not trying to fearmonger because the majority of these substances are like the same exact risk profile as the classics or safer, but it's crazy to me how available and out in the open research chemicals are becoming again. There are analogs to MDMA widely available online and in some smoke shops as well as a handful of different psilocybin analogs widely available in smoke shops, mushroom gummies and chocolates. People think they're completely legal but due to the Analog Act you can still be charged with possession/distribution of a controlled substance. Handling fish in suspicious circumstances. I'm British. I ripped the tags off my mattress. Someone pulled a gun on me, said they were going to shoot me and I restrained them till cops arrived. I got arrested for second-degree assault and they didn't get charged as they were female. I was a history teacher with a master's degree who taught at-risk youth and now I'm a felon and can't get hired to landscape edit. Offer was probation. Taking it to court would risk 18 years in prison. Riding in the back of a pickup truck.